What if some people aren't actually addicted to sex, but addicted to what sex does to the mind? Because some people constantly crave sexual stimulation, and not because they're physically unsatisfied, but because their brain never feels mentally satisfied. And honestly, the more I thought about it, the more terrifying the idea became. But what if the issue is never sex itself? What if the issue is overstimulation, mental emptiness, stress, boredom, and sex is just the fastest escape route? So think about this. When people talk about sexual urge, everyone immediately assumes it's physical. It's physical attraction, it's physical need, it's physical pleasure. But what if it's only half true? Okay? Because sexual stimulation doesn't just affect the body, it affects the brain hard. Dopamine, anticipation, fantasy, escape, excitement, validation. And for a few moments, your brain finally focuses on one thing. And maybe for people whose minds are constantly running, that becomes addictive. Not necessarily sex itself, but the silence that comes with it. And look at the world we live in now. Constant scrolling, constant stimulation, short videos, notifications, stress, pressure, comparison, noise. Our brains never rest anymore. And even and when your brain is overloaded constantly, you start searching for intense stimulation just to feel normal. And sexual content is one of the strongest forms of stimulation humans have access to. It's an instant emotion, instant dopamine, instant escape. That's why so many people don't even realize they're not chasing pleasure anymore. They're chasing relief. And I start asking myself something. What if some people who think they're overly sexual are actually mentally exhausted? What if the urge gets stronger when life feels repetitive, stressful, or emotionally empty? Because think about it. Think about it. When you're deeply focused on something meaningful, building something, creating something, or obsessed with a goal, sometimes those urges calms down. Not always, but sometimes. And now that part is interesting. But here's where it becomes dangerous. Because if sexual stimulation becomes your main form of mental relief, your brain starts depending on it. And eventually, normal life starts to feel too slow. Real conversation feels boring. Patience disappears. Focus weakens. And suddenly, you're not using stimulation occasionally. It uses you. And maybe that's the real issue nobody talks about. Not sex, not desire, not attraction, but the fact that the modern minds are so overstimulated, emotionally restless, and mentally starved, and intense stimulation becomes the only thing that feels real anymore. And honestly, I don't think this is just about sexuality. I think it's about what's happening to people everywhere. Okay? Just in different forms. Maybe some people aren't addicted to pleasure. Maybe they're addicted to escape from their own minds. This is behind the issues. And maybe this issue was never what we thought it was.